Let's do it. All right. So, fulfillment and success. What's the difference in your opinion?
There's a big difference. And there's also a lot of similarities. So I know I spent a good portion of my childhood and my teen years trying to be successful in the eyes of somebody else, namely my parents. But because it wasn't coming from me, it was never fulfilling. So then there's the other side of where we tell ourselves, this is what I want, or this is what I think success looks like or feels like.
This is what I've been taught.
This is what I've been taught. This is
what I'm expecting or anticipating.
Yep. And so you start doing that, but you tell yourself this thing, and then you never go back to check in. You just take it on, take it in, and then you just move. You keep going, and you never at any point stop. Not never, but it usually takes a while where you stop and you're like, is this even working for me? Is this even something I want? Does this feel successful?
The top 3 things that just popped in my mind when you said that, I'm like, a career, having children, and staying in shitty marriages. And it's like, if you think of those 3 things, that is where we as a human society spend the majority of our time. Yet those are probably likely the top 3 things that we don't check in, like you just said.
Constantly. You have to constantly say, who am I today? What is it that I want today? What will be fulfilling for my soul? What is my soul telling me is fulfilling today? Because it'll be different tomorrow. It'll be different from yesterday.
Well, and I think that's where, as we evolve as society, it becomes a little bit more accepting to that thought or reality. But like 50 years ago, you didn't get out of shitty relationships. Like having children was kind of like expected. You know, I still sometimes feel like, I sometimes still feel like it's part of my duty to have a child and like bring it in.
Because you're a woman?
Yeah. And it's like, and I don't know. And if so, like, not yet. I'm only 30. I just got dirty 30, damn it. let me live. But even in then careers, right? You have to think there's so many people that convince themselves like the promotion, the money will allow me to live for the weekends. It will allow me to support the family, my loved ones. So then they like take on this role of like, this success will allow me to become fulfilled. And it's not that way at all.
No, you become successful from being fulfilled.
Yes. Otherwise, you get resentment, you get anger. You get frustrated.
Frustration, yep. And then you feel shame that you feel angry and frustrated and
unappreciative, resentful, right? Like it's just this spiral of bullshit when if you just take a step back and understand and acknowledge that you are evolving at any given moment of every single day, and that there are no rules, there are no forceful obligations into what you have to do. And if you can just eliminate I should do this, I have to do this, I need to do this, and change with a language pattern into
I get to,
I would like to, into option-based opportunities, you'll notice how your whole experience with your day-to-day context of a meeting is the first thing that's coming up. Like, oh, I have a conference call, or oh, I have meetings today. I get to go to meetings today.
Yes.
Like there's just that feeling of like, oh, I get to do this because you do essentially get to do it.
Yes. And I know for me, like when I have my conference calls, when we have our meetings, I'm excited. I get to do this. I get to do my career. I get to do my job. And yeah, of course, there are days where I'm feeling shitty and I'm just like, I really don't want to be doing this. But then I get on call and it's like, oh yeah, I get to do this. I may not be feeling great right now.
Well, that's because you tore up yoga. So, and
here I am with this person connecting, and I know that I'm doing something that I love.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel connected. That makes me feel fulfilled and successful, because I'm not walking into my meeting even after a shitty day and saying, why the hell am I here? I could be doing anything else.
So,
Or I've got a list of errands, and that's more important than talking to this person.
so I guess how would you help someone who doesn't, what would you ask a person who really is clueless and not clueless, but they're just not aware of, oh shit, am I living from fulfillment and being successful, or am I living from success and trying to be fulfilled? How would you help someone differentiate, or what would you ask them?
I mean, I'd go back to the question that we asked earlier. What is my soul wanting today? And if your soul says, I want to be out in the park, go to the fucking park. And if your soul is saying, you know, I really want to be talking to this person that I haven't talked to in a while, call that person. Yeah, and call that person. And you would be surprised that just by fulfilling that need that your soul is asking for, even if you do it for half an hour, you'll be so surprised at how everything else in your day shifts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think a big thing with people who are in the realm of either a really successful career that they are kind of over, or in a unfortunate or not ideal relationship, changing your language patterns of coming from a space of opportunity versus frustration, anger, resentment, victim, and just to play with it for the next week or so, and to see how you and your energy shifts, as well as how others may react to you back by doing that.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, is you asked, how would I open somebody else up to this that may not be aware? And the thing is that I don't believe that it's your responsibility or my responsibility to convince anyone of anything. All we are doing as coaches is just asking questions and being curious and opening it up to the other person to answer it. Whatever comes up for them is what comes up for them. Mm-hmm. And if they feel a hard fuck you and fuck off, that's a response within themselves, where if I were them, I would say, whoa, that was an intense reaction. Why did I have that reaction?
Yeah, what am I doing to have possibly created that, or mm-hmm. brought that
up in myself?
Mm-hmm. I think it sums it up. One cannot be as successful without fulfillment being the root cause of the success.
Mm-hmm. We've all heard those stories of someone who's suddenly a millionaire. They've worked their way to the top, and they have all this money, but they feel unfulfilled. And they have everything that society has told them means success. And they thought, once I get here, I'll have this amazing feeling of what it means to be successful. But along the way, along their path, they weren't reaching for fulfillment. They were reaching for an external view of what success is.
Yeah. I'm just so honored to know you and the work we do to help people become more connected to themselves and become established in living proof from spirit and soul versus societal expectations and domestication. And, you know, anytime you show up to do this, I express gratitude and appreciation. So I hope you know that.
I do, and I feel it. I more than know it, I feel it. And I very, very much want to do it sometime in the future, some sort of retreat together and leading others in person, not just over the internet and the ether, lost somewhere in the ether of the internet and YouTube. But to actually get people together, to invite others that do watch us, and to become a part of getting to know us and allowing us the honor of getting to know them.
To vibe.
Be all high vibing together.
Yep.
Hopefully somewhere tropical like Costa Rica. I'm up for it.
I'm up.
I'm just sending that into the universe. So I would love to hear from people if you're interested. Get this started. Is this
Yeah.
something that you want? Because I know Alyssa and I do want this.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sending you love from
I
Chat
love
Town.
you. Mwah.